Hello friends, in our last session we have discussed all the difficulties involved in measuring national income. Especially we have discussed theoretical difficulties. Now in this session we are going to see what are the practical difficulties or the statistical difficulties which are faced while estimating national income. In practice, a number of difficulties arise in the collection of statistical data required for estimation of national income. So, these practical difficulties are problem of double counting, existence of non-monetized sector, inadequate and unreliable data, problem in measuring depreciation cost, capital gains and losses, illiteracy and ignorance, difficulties in the classification of working population, valuation of inventories. These are the difficulties which we have to face while estimating national income. These are called practical difficulties. So, here we are going to discuss each and every practical difficulties. Number 1, problem of double counting. This is one of the greatest difficulties in calculating national income. Double counting means adding the value of same commodity 2 times or more than 2 times. Why it arises? It arises due to failure in making distinction between the intermediate product and the final product. Most of the time it becomes very difficult to make a difference between intermediate product and the final product. As a result, both the values are added to the national income, the value of intermediate product as well as the value of final product. As a result, national income is overestimated. Here one example is given. Flour used by a bakery is an intermediate product. Wheat flour used by bakery for producing bread is what? It is an intermediate product, but for household it is a final product. Rice is an intermediate product for restaurant, but the cooked rice or that same rice purchased from the market to the household is a final product. But in restaurant, cooked rice is a final product and the rice purchased from market is an intermediate product. Product is same, but for someone it is intermediate and for someone it is a final product. So, it becomes very difficult to make a difference between the final product and the intermediate products. As a result, the double counting may arise while estimating national income. Second one, practical difficulty is existence of non-monetized sector. Here non-monetized sector means what? The sector in which goods and services are exchanged without using money. That is called non-monetized sector. So what happens, especially in rural areas, still the goods and services are exchanged without money. One good is exchanged for other. So such kind of exchange or the value of such kind of goods which are exchanged without money, their value, accurate value cannot be calculated into the national income. So as a result, national income is not measured accurately. Nowadays, we can see that from the cities, the shopping malls like Big Bazaar or any other shopping malls are giving offers to us, give your scrap to us and purchase new goods. What is it? It is an example of non-monetized sector where goods are exchanged for other goods, ज्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये वस्तू विनिमयाची पद्धती असं म्हणतो आपण. तर अशी पद्धती ही आपल्याला चालू परिस्थितीमध्ये सिटीमध्ये सुद्धा दिसून येते. नेक्स्ट वन, inadequate and unreliable data. Adequate and correct data on production and cost data relating to crops, fisheries, animal husbandry, forestry, construction of workers, small enterprises, etc. are not available in a developing country because of these people doesn't maintain any kind of account, but they are producing goods or services, but they are not maintaining any kind of accounting. So here, due to the inadequate and unreliable data, national income is not measured properly. See, besides this data on unearned incomes, consumption and investment expenditure of rural and urban population are also not available. Besides that data, which data? Production and cost data relating to crops, fisheries, animal husbandry, forestry, construction workers. Besides this data, the data relating to the income, expenditure, investment made by people living in rural areas as well as living in urban areas, that too is not available properly. As a result, the actual size of national income cannot be measured here. Next one, depreciation. We should deduct the depreciation cost from the gross national income. Here, depreciation means what? Wear and tear of capital assets due to their use in the process of production. When we are using capital goods in the production process, that time the value, money value of these capital assets falls down. So whatever the price, whatever the value of that capital asset is reducing gradually due to the use, that must be deducted from the national income, gross national income. But what is the difficulty? The difficulty is that there is no uniform, common or accepted standard rates of depreciation. Depreciation or wear and tear of any capital assets depends upon many of things. It depends upon its technical age, its technical life, it depends upon intensity of use, it depends upon the maintenance, regular maintenance of that capital asset. There are many factors which determines the depreciation cost of capital assets, and all these things are different in respect of each capital asset. So therefore, there is no uniform, common or accepted standard rates of depreciation. As a result, depreciation is not measured properly, and hence national income is not also measured properly. Next one, capital gains and losses. Capital gains or losses which accrue to the property owners by increase or decrease in the market value of their capital assets or changes in demand are not included in the national income, because these changes do not result from the current economic activities. See, capital gains and losses means what? पूर्वी कधीतरी आपण एखादी वस्तू खरेदी करून ठेवलेली आहे. सपोज आपण शेती खरेदी करून ठेवलेली आहे, 5 एकर शेती आपण खरेदी करून ठेवलेली आहे, आणि जेव्हा आपण ती खरेदी करून ठेवली होती तेव्हा त्याची किंमत होती 5 लाख रुपये. जसजसा कालावधी पुढे जातो तसतसा त्याच्या किमतीमध्ये वाढ होत जातात. So whatever the price, whatever the value is added in that property, that must be added to the national income. 2 वर्षांनी त्याच्या किमतीमध्ये जर का 5 लाख रुपयाची जमीन त्याची किंमत जर का आता 6 लाख रुपये झाली आहे, तर ते वाढलेली जी त्याची व्हॅल्यू आहे ती वाढलेली व्हॅल्यू आपण चालू वर्षाच्या नॅशनल इन्कममध्ये ॲड करायला पाहिजे. जर का त्याची व्हॅल्यू कमी झाली असेल, इफ सपोज देर इज अ फॉल इन इट्स व्हॅल्यू, कोणत्या तरी कारणामुळे त्याची व्हॅल्यू कमी झाली आहे, 5 लाखाची जमीन आता समजा जर का 4 लाख रुपयाला झाली आहे, तर त्याचं मायनस करायला पाहिजेत आपण 1 लाख रुपये, त्याला म्हणतो आपण कॅपिटल लॉस. आणि जर का इन्क्रीज झाली प्राईस तर त्याला म्हणतो आपण कॅपिटल गेन्स. सो वॉट एव्हर इज ॲक्र्यूड टू द प्रॉपर्टी ओनर, either it is a capital gain or capital loss, that must be added to the national income. If it is capital gain, it will be added. If it is capital loss, then it will be deducted from the national income. But no one take care of it. As a result, national income is not measured properly. Next one, illiteracy and ignorance. Due to ignorance and illiteracy, our small producers or farmers, people living from rural areas as well as people living from urban areas, those who are not literate, they are unable to maintain accounts of their income, expenditure, investment. So this data is not available. As a result, national income is not measured properly. They cannot give the proper information about the quantity of output they produced. So last one difficulty, one more difficulty is there. Difficulties in the classification of working population. In India, working population is not clearly defined. For instance, farmers in India are not engaged only in agriculture. They are also engaged in other alternative occupations such as what? Such as animal husbandry. So how much they are getting from the different sources, how much income they are getting from the different sources, they doesn't maintain its account. As a result, national income is not measured properly. And last one is valuation of inventories. Raw materials, intermediate goods, semi-finished goods, which are in the stock of producers are also known as inventories. It means these are from previous year. So, if there is any increase in these inventories, in the prices of these inventories, that must be added to the national income. And if there is any fall in price of these inventories, that must be deducted from the national income. The valuation of these inventories must be very, very careful, but most of the time their values are not assessed carefully. As a result, the national income is not measured properly. So, these are the practical difficulties involved in measuring national income. Is it okay? Now, in the next session, we will see the importance of national income. Till then, goodbye.